It has been over 1 week since the DNC convention has taken place, and early voting will start in many key states in the next following weeks. And in today's video, we're going to be putting out my new post-convention map. A week after, we do have some new data, so I will be putting that data into this map, and I have my personal predictions percentage-wise, the margins in every single state I do have, and I will tell you guys. But before we get to that, let's get into some data that we do have post-convention. First of all, I wanted to point out some new Miami-Dade County poll where Trump is actually leading or exactly tied with Kamala Harris. And this is the change from 2020 where he gains another point and she loses 6. We did see in the 2022 midterms in Florida, Republicans did end up flipping Miami-Dade County. So if we do see Miami-Dade County also flipping to the Republicans in the presidential race, Florida is going to be maybe even in that safe column. But we can check here a Florida poll from a pollster that is not really that good, very favorable towards the left, but still has him up by 7 percentage points. He leads here by 7. He's winning the rural suburban by 20 percentage points. For some reason, he's winning suburban more than rural. And obviously, urban is favoring the Democrats. And then we have both male and female voting for Donald Trump. As we can see here, they did sample a lot more Democrats than Republicans. They ended up weighting it for about R+6. We have Trump only winning independents by 4, but in the state he's winning by 7 as a whole. We can see here he is winning Latinos by 12 percentage points, but he's losing African Americans. He's only getting 4% of the black population. So obviously there is some weird data points here to take into consideration of how he could be gaining so much with Latinos, but losing so much for blacks. And that's why I think this margin is even more, because he's not going to get only 4% of the black vote. And then over here, this also is a little weird where the high school vote is going for Harris, while the some college and then you have more college going for Trump by pretty large amounts. So either way, this data is a little weird, but I think as in general, it's good for Trump that he's even leading by 7 in a poll that doesn't even favor him at all. And either way, we do have some polling. We do have some swing state polling in those 7 main states. And this is from Trafalgar Group and Insider Polling. This pollster does favor Republicans a slight little bit, but are definitely more accurate than a lot of those other New York Times, Siena, Quinnipiac polls that were off by a lot more than Trafalgar was. And they did team up with Insider Polling, so that should help them a lot. And these numbers do look pretty good. They do look pretty accurate too, especially because this is post-DNC. Usually we expect these DNC and RNC bounces to favor that candidate as a whole, but we do not see that at all. We actually see the opposite happening, where Trump is gaining back, and he does lead here in Arizona by 1. In Georgia is a tie. He leads in Michigan by 0.4. He leads in Nevada by a point. North Carolina by a point. He leads in Pennsylvania by 2 points. And in Wisconsin, he leads also by a percentage point. So that's some good data for him. We did have another poll by ActiVote, and Trump's leading by 9 percentage points. He was leading by 6.6 about 2 weeks ago. So over the course of the DNC, he has gained around 2 to 3 percentage points. We can see here once again, this makes a little more sense. These urban numbers also are a little wonky, but either way, taking that all together, he is leading by 9. He has gained a lot from the previous, and I would expect him to have lost a little bit, after the DNC especially. But these age groups, we have Kamala Harris only winning 18 to 29 by 2 percentage points. Males are going to Trump by a huge amount. Females are very neck and neck. And then we have him winning independents by 1. But, they weighted it only to an R+1 sample, which I do not think is the case. It's not going to be an R+1 sample at all. It's going to be more than that. And then you have, blacks in here. The blacks in Texas are going 32% for Trump, but in Florida, they're going 4%. So obviously a little bit here that doesn't make sense. But either way, leading Latinos by a large amount. And the rest of these are looking all good for Trump. So a very good poll out of Texas, and this correlates almost exactly with my prediction. Obviously, these demographic groups are a little bit different, but either way, a good poll for him. I wanted to go over Nate Silver's Electoral College forecaster because Trump has been surging. He leads now by 10.5 percentage points in the likelihood that he will win the Electoral College. A week or two ago, Kamala Harris was leading this model by around a few percentage points. I think maybe even up to 5 to 10. And Nate Silver is the guy who founded 538, so we know where he's coming from. He had the background of 538, where they do always overestimate Democrats by a huge amount. He's showing that Trump does have the edge, that she is going to win the popular vote by 1.5 percentage points. So that also is some good signs for Donald Trump. And I wanted to go over also the poly market. It's good to see what people are betting on. And we can see here Trump is also favored 50% to 48%. This has been going back and forth. Kamala had around a 10-point lead. And then ever since, Trump has been gaining it back and has led by a small amount. If we go to the swing states, we can see here the state of Arizona, the state of Nevada favors Trump 51 to 49%. Arizona, Trump's at 56% chance of winning it. Georgia 57, North Carolina at 60, Pennsylvania at 51, and in the two swing states that still favor Kamala Harris in those betting odds, we have the state of Wisconsin and the state of Michigan with 56 and 60 percentage point likelihood respectively. Also in the Senate, I wanted to just point out that Ohio has now gone in that toss-up column. Ohio was in that likely Democrat column on this, so it's definitely tightening up as well. But look at all those data points and the fact that after the convention, instead of the Democrats going up, they have actually come back down. But let's get ready to fill out this map. But before we do, please subscribe, like this video, share this with a friend, and comment down in the section below. First of all, we're going to be going over the safe states for Trump and Harris, but this time I'm going to be using my model that I created with all my different margins for each state, and these are my personal predictions combined with data that we have received. For the state of Wyoming and West Virginia, these will go to Donald Trump by around 40 percentage points, a little bit over. For the state of Oklahoma, Donald Trump will be winning it by around 36. North Dakota will be a 35 percentage point win. The state of Idaho will be around 30, as well as the state of Arkansas. These are the most safe states. All of these states are going to go to Trump by 30 percentage points or over. We have the states of Kentucky, Alabama, and South Dakota going to Trump by around 28 percentage points. We have the state of Tennessee going to Trump by 24 percentage points. The state of Louisiana and Utah both going to Trump by 20 percentage points. Keep in mind, Utah, I think, will trend to left as comparable to the country, but still be a 20-point win for the former president. The state of Nebraska will be going to Donald Trump in that safe column, except that second district. We have the state of Indiana, Mississippi, and Montana all going to Trump by a 17-point margin. So we have Mississippi, Indiana, and Montana. Montana, I do have at 17 percentage points right now. So we could expect John Tester to also come just short of keeping his Senate seat. We have the state of Missouri at 16 percentage points. And then we have the left trending state, but still safe state of Kansas going to Donald Trump by 14 percentage points. To wrap up the safe states, we're going to have the state of South Carolina at 13%, the state of Iowa at 13%, Ohio is at 12%, and Maine's first second congressional district is also at 12 percentage points. I do have Alaska falling under that, so it will not be going in that 12-point margin or up. Democrats will also be winning a good number of states in that safe column. So let's go through all of them right now. The District of Columbia will be going for Harris by 85 percentage points. We have Vermont going to Harris by 34. The state of Massachusetts by 32 percentage points. The state of Maryland will also be going to Kamala Harris by 30 percentage points. The state of Hawaii, which will be shrinking a lot in Democratic support, still though going to Harris by 24 percentage points. We have the state of California going to Harris by also 23 percentage points, down 7 percentage points, but still in that safe column for her. We have the state of Rhode Island going down to 18. We have Washington also at 18. The state of New York is going to be 17. We have the state of Connecticut at 17 as well. Then we're going to have some closer states. The states of Delaware and Illinois will both be in that 15-point margin for Vice President Harris. We're going to have the state of Oregon at 14. And New Jersey, the final safe state, will be 12, almost in that likely column, but not quite. Now that we have all the safe states, we're going to be going into those likely states. We're going to be starting with Republicans, going through all the states that will go to Republicans by around 6 to 12 percentage points. And we're going to have a few of them to go over, but let's get started with the state of Alaska, which will be going to Donald Trump by around 11 percentage points on this map. The state of Texas and Florida will be going each 10 percentage points towards Donald Trump. And these states also are very similar to those numbers that I just showed you. Texas will be pretty safe, as well as Florida in this cycle. I do think there's a chance that both of them could be in that safe column, but right now they're going to be on that 10-point margin, both around 54 to 44% for Donald Trump. And those are going to be the likely states for Republicans. Democrats will also have some likely states. The most safe one will be Colorado, going to Harris by 10 percentage points. We have the state of New Mexico going by also 8 percentage points. And that'll actually be it. Those would be the likely states for Kamala Harris. The rest of these states will be in that lean column or under. So these are the states that we're most likely going to pay attention to that will be under 6 percentage points. Let's actually get started with the Republicans. They will have a few. They will have the state of North Carolina going to Donald Trump by 4 percentage points. And then we have the state of Georgia going to Trump by 2 percentage points. And that'll be the states for Donald Trump going into that lean column. For Kamala Harris, she'll be winning a few states in that lean column as well. We have the state of Virginia in that 6 percentage point margin for her. We have also the Maine as a whole going to her by 5 percentage points. I forgot to point out Maine's first district will be in that safe column for her. We're going to have Nebraska second, going to her by around 2 percentage points. New Hampshire will be a 4-point margin as of now. And then that'll be all for them, apart from Minnesota, which will also be 5 percentage points for Kamala Harris. And now we're going to come down to the final states. These are the states that are definitely going to decide the election. And I'll be going through all of them west to east, starting with the state of Nevada. Will be around a 0.5 point to 1 point win for Donald Trump. The same thing with Arizona. Will be falling a little bit over that. It will be a little bit over a 1 point win for Donald Trump. Same thing with Wisconsin, will be falling under that column. It will be around a 1 point win for Donald Trump. The state of Pennsylvania will be going to Trump by 1.2 percentage points based off of my latest in detail election map of that state. I did some pretty detailed state analysis on Pennsylvania, and you could check out that video. I will be linking it right now on the top of your screen. And then we have the final state, the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan is one of those states that I had in the toss-up column in the previous election. We have some polling that had showed it a little bit closer. Still, Kamala Harris leads right now, and right now she does actually win the state in my forecast by around 0.2 percentage points. So it is going to be the closest state. The polls have gotten closer, but we still need some more polling to show that Trump will win the state. But either way, this is going to be my completed map for the end of this month. And with all my data combined, these are all my final margins right now. And I will continue to update my margins. But right now we stand at 297 to 241. Keep in mind that these margins are always subject to change, especially now. We're going to be starting to receive a lot more polling. The recent cycling of polling has been good for the former president. So if this continues, then obviously this map will change a little bit. I do expect his margins in Arizona, Nevada, especially to increase a little bit if we do see those good Hispanic trends for him that we are seeing in those polls taken recently in the states of Texas and Florida. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment down on the video, and I'll check you guys out in the next one.